Gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and Dow crashes 650 points, ladies and gentlemen. And now we have had months of red, all-time highs, all-time low. As you guys remember, Christmas Eve, we had the most crash we ever had in the history of the stock market. So what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? What does that mean for the average person? Well, for me, what it means, I deny it. I am so excited. I can't deny it. I was doing the market crash dance, just like the Native Americans did the dance for the rain. I was doing this morning with my baby, the market crash dance, because I got up, I looked at it on the market and it was down 500, 600 points. And I was like, wow, why am I excited? Because people are going to lose money? No, I'm not excited because of that. That's not my fault. This is the system that's rigged by central bankers, okay, fractional reserve lending, etc. But I am excited because since I'm already in the game and people are playing it, they bought properties when it was going up. They got that easy money, it was going up. Now it's going to crash, okay? Once it crashes, it's going to create great opportunity, okay? And the bankers are going to take the people's wealth. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there, meet these sellers, market to them. Okay. Now, in this upcoming crash, three things that are going to happen. The people have equity, the people have marginal equity, or that people have negative equity. And that's the only situation there's going to be. There's going to be a lot of marginal equity and no equity properties out there, which means that homeowners try to sell their home with a real estate agent. For whatever reason, they couldn't sell their home. The reason is because what's happening in the market, stocks going down, the real estate bubble popping, and other bubbles popping from pensions to debt to stocks, etc. So these homeowners are going to be the type of behind in their payments, or they're not going to have equity, or they're going to have a lot of equity. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be able to help them out in this time. Why do I think now is the best? 50% off. Now I'm going to be able to buy properties because there's going to be so many people, homeowners that can't afford to make their payments anymore because they lost their job or they got wiped out in their 401s, they lost their home equities. And I'm very sad for those people, and that's why I want to go help them out. Okay. And that's what I teach at MrNoFluff.com, how to find these people, how to help them out, enrich yourself, help them, and help out the communities. Okay. The strategies that I teach, if a home seller went to a real estate agent and the house had negative equity or marginal equity, most real estate agents wouldn't touch it unless they were sophisticated and they knew how to do loan modification, which most agents don't know how to do that, or they were sophisticated and they knew how to do short sales. Most agents don't know how to do loan modification or short sales. There's only a select few. Also, low interest rates that homeowners are going to have, and they're going to be crashing. Okay, they're going to be foreclosing on for whatever reason that makes them motivated in a down market. And I'm going to be able to just step into these sellers' shoes and just take over their payments, give them relief, give them debt relief, let them go to the next chapter of their lives without going to a bank, without going to a lender, without worrying about what my FICO score is or what my credit score is, because those things are irrelevant. Because I'm not going to a hard money lender. I'm not going to a bank. I'm just going to use the existing mortgage, the existing debt, the existing loan. It's all the same thing. It's just different words. Okay. So that's what I teach, is how to find these motivated sellers, target them, talk to them, structure win-win situations where you help yourself and you help them and the community, all by avoiding banks, because the banks are going to do this or not. If you do this, you can stop it. If you don't do this, then, if I don't do this, the banks are going to take it because people are going to go foreclosure. How do I know? Well, I was in the crash of 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, etc. I was knocking on the doors of homeowners. I got to meet attorneys, doctors, business owners, average homeowners, teachers, firefighters, people that I bought houses from that try to sell me their home and I couldn't help them for some reason or another, or I bought their house from, and I heard their stories, which was, hey, what I'm telling you now. But this time, the crash is even going to be worse. Last time was a Band-Aid. This time is it going to be worse. Why do I say it's going to be worse? Well, there's two types of, ups and downs. The first type of up and down is kind of like a disease where if you start eating bad food, are you going to instantly blow up, or you instantly have obesity? No. Your immune system may come down. You may have, mood swings and not feeling with a lot of energy, but you don't have chronic disease then. After long periods of abuse, right? After long periods of abuse, then you're going to build the diseases like heart attacks, pancreas disease, liver disease, diabetes, thyroids, etc. Guys, all right? So that's from long term, and that's where we are in the cycle of the markets. The markets have been abused so much. The people have been taxed so much. The people, money has been diluted through inflation so long that people can't afford living. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? An average person that goes to college stays with their home, with their parents, versus going out there and working 40 hours and making a living. Debt, they have car payment, they have so many other things they have to pay for. And by the time the dust clears from their paychecks, they're getting half of that, and then they have to pay for everything else. So the cost of living is getting expensive. So at this time, the market is going down significantly, and what's going to follow is other assets popping like real estate. Now, what's going on with gold? Okay, in 2016, I came out and I made multiple videos. Please go verify the facts on my YouTube channel. That I said that I'm exiting the real estate business and I'm going to get into gold, because I knew it was going to pop. Now, I didn't know exactly when the very top was, but 2016 is what I said. I'm going to throw my hands up. To me, that's the top. And just 2 years later, a year and a half later, we can see that everything's starting to fall down. It's very hard. Now is the time for real estate, but at the same time for gold too, because 2016 gold was an ounce $11.25. So when I got into gold was $11.25. So I cashed out on a couple of real estate, and then I got into gold. Okay. Today, gold is inching up day by day. Today is about to hit $1,300 an ounce. That's almost $200 gain per ounce. Okay. So that means that if you had, let's say, $10,000 in gold, okay, over that time, which is 2016 till now, you're going to get gains from it. If you had the same amount in a banking account, you still have the same amount, but your purchasing power has gone down. How much? For that, if you had 10,000 in gold and 10,000 in a banking account, that the 10,000 in your banking account, the purchasing power has gone down almost $200. So gold at the $10,000 was $200 per ounce. So if you add that up, actually I was mistaken, because it was $200 per ounce, and you say you have 10 ounces, but that's $2,000 that you have made in the gold, where in the banking account, out of the $10,000, you've lost $2,000 purchasing power. Sorry, earlier I was saying 200 because I was just doing the 1 ounce versus actually $10,000. So I mean, that'll be 10 ounces. So simply put, if you had 10 ounces in the bank, 10 ounces in gold, and then you had $10,000 in gold, and assuming that'd be 10 ounces, and you had $10,000 in your banking account, in over 2 years, your $10,000 cash has lost $2,000 purchasing power. Where if you had the same amount in gold, it's gained $2,000 in purchasing power. Okay, you actually accumulate, not gold purchasing power, because they keep printing money. They keep printing money, and now they're gonna just press the printing machine, and woo, they're gonna print it out like you've never seen it before. But here's the thing. That when they press that printing machine and they print it out, guess what's happening in France? Well, the cost of goods keep going up. Okay, just like the scenario I explained where there's $10,000 in gold and then $10,000 in fiat. That 10,000 you still have it, but 2,000 of it is phantom loss that you can't buy as much. If I can simplify it, okay. Well, the same thing is happening a lot more in France. Okay, where instead of $2,000, they put a 10,000, and maybe the $10,000 is now worth $4,000. They still have the 10 there to fake people, but people are starting to realize, well, 10 I could only now buy $4,000 worth of good. Okay, so that's what the civil unrest is happening. More things are going to get expensive for you and people you know around your neighbors and your friends, and the more the possibility for civil unrest will happen. That's why I think that why we pull the troops in, guys. Okay, besides us going broke because we've been the world police for so many years, we've been printing money, but that power of printing money and being the petrodollar, the reserve currency, is at jeopardy, which is very, very bad. So we're bringing the troops in. Also, I think that because civil unrest, dude, when thousands of people, millions of people go out to their job and their jobs are laid off, or they go to the bank and they can't get their money because they're just a unsecured, creditor, versus, even though they have money in their banking accounts, they deposit in their checkings or savings, but they're just unsecured creditors. And when people are firefighters and teachers and their pensions are gone because, they gambled with it, but I don't, allow other people to manage my stuff. I'm a grown up. And so I don't believe in like giving my money to some guy in some suit, some sales guy that just graduated college trying to sell me on a 401 plan or something. No, I'm not going to do that, dude. I'm going to go ahead and educate myself and learn how to drive myself. Is it more responsibility? Absolutely. Is it more risk? I don't think so, dude, because I'm driving. If I crash, I learn. If I don't crash, I make a lot of money. But if I delegate my responsibilities to some guy in a suit that's going to invest my money for me in some kind of corporations that they're computer generated, if I lose, I don't get anything because I don't even learn the lesson. Okay, and nor do I gain because it's just artificial gain. It keeps going up, and then it wipes out, and then it keeps going up, and then wipes out. Okay, so it's just like theoretical. Now, what's happening with Bitcoins? I think that has boosted the price up a little bit because what they're doing is they're going to all the exchanges and saying, hey, we want to take our money out of there. It's kind of like a run on the banks. Okay, they're trying to go through all the exchanges and say, hey, we want to get our cryptos and put it in our wallets to make sure you guys are not fractional reserving, just like the central bankers are. Like, what do I mean? In America and many other countries that use fractional reserve banking systems, central bankers, if they have $10 from you, they could lend out $100, if not more. Okay, it depends on where the regulations are. Well, that causes these ups and downs. Well, the guys that own cryptos, they want to make sure the exchanges are honest, right? So that's why they have proof of keys. They want to make sure they actually have these cryptos that they're selling. They're not saying, hey, if they only have 10, they're just selling 1,000 because people in the exchange centers. So it's a great idea. And I was wondering that what would happen if you, me, and everyone we know, we went to our banks on a specific date and we say, we want all of our money, right? You know what would happen? The banks would close, dude. They would go bankrupt because they don't have that money. They're not liquid enough. So if they have $10, they're probably lending out 100 or 1,000 or 500, depending on what the rules and regulations are at that specific time. But that's called fractional reserve. So if we all had a date like people do in the cryptocurrencies, that they go and say, look, man, to all the cryptocurrency exchanges, which are kind of like banks in a sense, because people leave their money there, their cryptos there. If they said, hey, I want to withdraw my money, right? And to make sure that they have those coins there, they have those tokens there, and they're not just selling something they don't have. What happened if we did the same thing for the bank? Went to our bank on a specific day. Everyone on the had a specific day. We went to the banks and we said, hey, dude, we want to withdraw whatever money we have in your accounts just for a day or two, just to make sure that they have the money. And it would be very surprising that everyone would get declined, I would believe, because, I've gone to a bank that I've used for a long time and just try to take more than $10,000 at a time, a little bit more. They said I had to put an order in and wait a few days to come and get it because they didn't have that money. And I had to squeeze them, talk to the manager, and since I knew the manager, they allowed me to get it. But that's the situation that we live in, guys. These bankers, they don't have your money. They're gambling with your savings. They're gambling with all your stuff through derivatives and all kinds of other shit that no one knows about. And they're manipulating the market. This is just my opinions. I don't have any facts, but you can see that you can have 1,000 points crash, and all of a sudden the same day it'll come back up. You can have 500 points down, and then suddenly it comes up. But you have days after days after days, and that's pretty. The bankers calling other bankers, say, "Hey, man, you better start buying. You better start giving out these debts to the corporations so they can buy their stocks back." You know what I'm saying? And which is crazy. Anyways, let's see what we got going on. We got Ryan. Thanks for coming in, Ryan. We got True Self. What's up, brother? Hoki Doka. What's going on, brother? We have Dean in the house. We have Arthur. What's going on, man? Now, hey, guys, this is not doom and gloom. This is a great opportunity to create businesses. Like what businesses are going to be really good? Well, if you're a real estate agent, short sales. I mean, a lot of these homes are going to be upside down. I mean, think about it. Anyone that bought a house just in the last year, or anyone that had bought a house in the previous year, dude, they're going to all be upside down. Majority of real estate agents don't know how to do short sales. If you're interested in short sales, hit me up, dude. I know a guy that's a really expert in it, okay? Another thing that's going to be really hot as a real estate agent, or you could be a real estate investor, okay, is loan modification, guys. All these people are going to be upside down, and you go talk to the bank, and instead of doing a short sell, they'll maybe modify it, put the rears in the back, so on, okay? What is another business that's going to be hot? Well, a moving company, dude, a moving company. Why? All these people are going to be losing their big old homes and going into storage facilities and apartments, right? So right then and there, the people are going to be moving. Now, you can't be a moving company like the van lines where you're charging an arm and a leg for it because the people don't have the money. But if you could, control your overhead and have a low cost business, like a low cost moving company where you're charging very economically, but you're very profitable because your overhead is very low, then you can have a great, making $6,000-7,000 a day. Okay, every day, and on the weekends even doing more, just moving people because so many people are going to be moving out. Okay, what's another business to get into, dude? The rental business. Okay, rental business is going to be awesome. Why is the rental business going to be awesome? Well, guys, interest rates. Okay, rentals are going up just by them printing money. Okay, and also as people start defaulting, where are they going to go? They're not going to evaporate. They're going to have to move into an apartment or into a house. Most people that come from houses don't want to move into an apartment, but they'll try to look for a house. Apartments are going to be expensive. Rental business is going to be great. Why am I going to get into the rental business? Because there's going to be ultra low interest rates, which are almost 0%, never heard of in the history of mankind, okay, since interest rates were created, okay? And I'm going to take over these people's payments because for some reason they can't make the payments anymore. And they're going to have ultra low interest rates, which means the payment's going to be very low. After I pay the principal, after I pay the interest, after I pay the taxes, and after I pay the insurance, I'm still going to have a big spread between there. And well, guess what? $600 minimum per property for pretty homes that I'm going to be able to rent out. And just imagine $600-700, you get 10 properties. How much is that? You get 20 properties. How much is that? You get 50 properties. How much is that? Now, I don't care if these properties have equity or not, or marginal equity, because at this specific time when there's a meltdown happening, I'm not buying it for equity. I'm buying it for cash flow. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd rather buy a house with significant equity, right? I mean, come on, right? I'd rather buy a house that's worth 100 for 50 or 40. But if there's 90% of the people don't have that, and there's other opportunities, guess what? I'm going to be using creativity to figure out a win-win situation for them to win. Now, if you like to create these same exact situations, well, Flipping Wednesdays is a place where you can create these situations. I show you how to find these motivated sellers, how to negotiate with them, how to filter them, etc., how to give offers, how to find the funding, how to structure it, etc. Another great opportunity to learn about these deals is the Abundant Club. We meet every Saturday. It's a mastermind, and we help you do your deals. And also, if you're already out my Alchemy Stones automation funnel, where I teach you and set these systems up for you, where we create the funnel where all the customers come in autopilot, where you don't have to do the hard work. Okay. We set up the funnels for the follow-up. Okay. We set up the funnels for the remarketing. We set up the funnels for the closing, so you don't have to do all the closing for us. And all that stuff is into a master program, which is called automation. Now, this automation course is not for newbies. It's not for someone that's broke, doesn't have money. It's for successful people. I would say you got to be making at least $300,000 a year or more, pay for like landing pages and follow-up series, emails, and et cetera, like that. Okay, and there's other stuff out there. But in this program, the funnel program, all the customers that we set up for you that you get are totally for free. You only need money for the follow-up, guys, which is amazing. Everyone tells you how to spend thousands of dollars. I show you how to generate hundreds of customers for pennies on the dollar, okay? All through automation, like a machine, like an AI, like a robot, where you're not the one digging for the gold, dude. The machine is doing it. Is digging the leads and generating customers, is doing the follow-ups, and is doing the closing and the sales for you, dude. You only got to be there to receive the ball, okay? And then push the buttons to make sure everything's in working order. To get more information about everything I just said, go ahead and visit mrnofluff.com. Hey guys, click a like, share this with your friends, and